All right, can you guys hear me now? Can someone give me a thumbs up if there's sound coming through now? Good, all right. All right, so while we're waiting for Adam to get on here, like I said, I'm just going to go through and add this to a few pages so other people, and then we'll get Adam. Adam, if you're in here, bud, leave a message so I can add you. Uh-oh. Hope everyone's having a good week. Just got back from, there we go, there's Adam. Let's do this, dude. What's up, buddy?
What's happening?
What's going on?
I don't know. Trying to figure this thing out.
Adam, there we go. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna add this to some pages, and then we'll get this thing going. How you doing, man?
Good, you?
Tired. Yeah.
It's only 6 o'clock.
Dude, I'm tired from I feel like I just ran like a 5-day marathon right now. So, dude, you can wear the glasses. It makes you look smarter. There you go.
Oh, okay. They're just safety glasses.
Are they heat waves?
No. They got the head shields, though. Check these out.
Oh, hell yeah. Is your buddy in there with you?
What?
Is your buddy in there with you?
Oh, he just left. He had to go to work.
Oh, damn.
So no background comments.
I'm
We started an hour ago. You could have told him to stop welding.
Let's see. All right, so it's not, I don't think I got approved to go on the Silver Lake page yet, so we'll have to add it to that one later. So, someone said Professor Deuling. Dude, my flag fell again.
Your what?
I had a flag in the background. It keeps on falling.
You need a cool sign in the background.
Oh, I know. Well, we'll talk about that later. But so when I finish my office I'm building, then I will have you build me a sign. So then it'll give me an excuse to come pick it up too. So.
Perfect. That's a long flight.
Maybe I'll just drive it out. I don't care. I like driving. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. You got any questions or anything you want to start out with? Are you ready to just roll into this thing?
Let's go. I got you a panel ready to bead roll.
All right. Well, we'll just got to figure out when we're going to do that. So, what part of the show? So.
Let me know. It's right behind me, ready to go. I'm not saying what it is.
So I'm assuming that most of the people that are on here, you've kind of seen the other shows, but for everyone that's on here, if you've got some questions, we'll go through sometime in the show and kind of go back through and answer some questions. Just so so if you put a question and it keeps on going up, don't worry, we'll try to get back and answer it. And with that, let's talk about Adam Deuling.
That's me.
Upbringing, where are you from? What do you like to do?
I am from the West Michigan area, Muskegon. I grew up mostly in Holton. It's a small town over here. Nothing crazy. Went to a Catholic elementary school. Switched over to Fremont public schools, 7th grade. I took a lot of shop classes. I was really interested in shop class. I think my senior year, I had 9 shop classes out of 15 classes. So that was pretty awesome. I really liked pattern making. We got to pour aluminum and make all the molds and do all the foundry stuff. So that was sweet. Mr. Houston was the teacher. He actually just passed away this winter, unfortunately, from cancer. But he taught me a ton of stuff, and I love shop class. I went to school for shop class. I mean, that was so. I started working as soon as I got my license. I started working for Brett Lasco. He owns Lasco Plumbing and Mechanical over here in Muskegon. This is his shop that he lets me put all my stuff in. So he's helped me a lot. I started working for him as soon as I turned 16. Worked there until I was 22. Kind of doing pre-apprentice stuff and digging holes, crawling in crawl spaces, driving parts around. I learned a lot, got out of my comfort zone a lot there. He's really taught me a lot. Taught me to kind of also do that, get out of my comfort zone and go for what you want. And I used to be very cautious. I used to be, measure 100 times, before you cut anything. Now it's, do it, face the consequences later if there are, and it ends up being a lot less consequences that way, I find, and you get stuff done a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But I worked for Brett until I was 22. I was going to school the whole time I was working for him. From 18, I went to community college, got a associate's in CAD, got a drafting position at a company in Muskegon. They make display cases for stores like Whole Foods and Starbucks and really high-end display cases that you'd see in like the deli, pizza buffet cases, this and that.
Yeah.
That's it, I guess.
So
upbringing, I guess.
when you worked for
went to the Dunes every Memorial and Labor Day weekend every year. My dad and Brett and Lori and we all camped, same campground, same lot every Memorial and Labor Day weekend up at the Dunes. So that was kind of our tradition. Still do it.
So where did the love for like K10s and Chevy trucks and stuff like that, where did that come in?
My dad always had one ever since I was little. When I was born, he had like a 6.2 diesel, like I don't remember what it was, like an 82 or something. He had that. He had a 91 GMC Jimmy, TBI, awesome Jimmy. Sold that when they had a few more kids. He got a Suburban, a 91 GMC Suburban. That was actually the first vehicle that I drove in the Dunes. So I don't know, they've always been here and I always loved them. And my grandpa sold me an '01 Silverado, like really nice for like $4,000. And I drove it for like 2 years. I had like the nicest truck, like kid right out of high school, like nice truck. And, I drove it for like a year and I sold it. I made money on it and I bought the Blazer and my grandpa's never forgiven me. So yeah, I bought that thing. It was a freaking pile. The body was all right. The floors had a lot of rot in them. I had to replace a lot of the floor. It was just stock though. Everything about it was just very stock, which I liked. I wanted a fresh, clean slate. So
yeah,
I just started dabbling in it. We were always down at my buddy Craig's house every weekend. That was Friday night through Sunday evening. We were at my buddy's house. We were tearing stuff apart, building stuff, drinking a lot of Busch Light. Yeah, I did that. I got on CK5 because, what's an 18-year-old kid do when he doesn't know how to, my motor's knocking, I was terrified. What do I do? This is my daily driver at the time. So I hop on there and I'm asking them questions, and I'm trying like ghetto hacks that I found on Google and this and that. Oil pan heaters and this and that. Drove it for about a year. bought a 93 Grand Prix, put the Blazer aside, started working on it. I talked to the guys on CK5. I see like Kurt Cahoon, he owns DIY 4x. That's that big yellow sticker on the back of my Blazer.
Okay.
I went down to my buddy Dave Zimmerman's house. They threw kind of a build party for his Blazer, and a whole crew of these guys from CK5 showed up. And of course, Kurt drove his huge crew cab with like a 500 Cadillac big block in it, all the way from Iowa. And nobody else drove their CK5 or their CK trucks. I was the only one. I drove my motor knocking all the way down, I don't know, 2 hours down to Kalamazoo, terrified that I was gonna, blow the engine up. I rolled in and I didn't know anything. I'd never fabbed anything ever. So that was cool. I got to hang out with them. They've all been big influences, That day, they just kind of stuck me with Jesse gave me a welder and said, here, weld these spring perches on. And Kurt had me cut down the anti-wrap bar, and I measured it like 700 times. I kept walking back in there, are you sure? What was it? 1 3/4 or whatever, You sure? Yep. I knew I was getting annoying. And we did that. Kurt dropped the anti-wrap bar on my head. Crap for that, but yeah, I mean, I guess since then that sparked it. That night we're all sitting around the fire, just hanging out, and Kurt whips out these big old stickers, and I just like screamed. I was like, "Yeah, we got to put those on!" So we put them on there, and that's why they're on there, and just stuck. Everybody calls me Pimax up there at the dunes, though, but it says DIY 4X, do-it-yourself 4x4.
So that's where the Pimax name came from then. So those stickers look like it says Pimax?
Yeah, that's what everybody up here says.
I thought for sure that thing had a Duramax in it.
What's that?
I thought for sure that thing had a Duramax in it. I thought it was way cooler.
No, it's not that cool.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny because, like, with especially with like square bodies, C10s, K5s, I was kind of the same way. So my dad had a square body Jimmy growing up, and so when it was time for me to turn 16, and then like he got away from it over the years, but when it was time for me to turn 16, like that was what my dad was aiming towards. He was looking for a Jimmy. I ended up with a C10, but I mean, same family, but he was looking for a Jimmy, and like every time my dad sees a Jimmy or a Blazer going down the road, he's like, "Oh, I want to get one again. I want to get one again." And it's kind of funny, like growing up in them, and then like passing them on to the next generation. And I hope I'll be able to pass them on to my kids. We'll see. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
But so that was kind of your intro to what would you say? That was your intro to fab and your intro to working on shit.
Yeah, for sure. And then, it just progressed. Most of the forums are, they were a lot of rock crawler based stuff, trails and rock crawling and this and that. So, I'm on a forum and these guys don't, there's a few guys like Chris Peterson's here. He's from Cali. We basically got the same setup, but I kind of worked, he was building his and I kind of walked off of him and he kind of, I think I did the air bumps first, and then he kind of threw air bumps on his, if I remember correctly. But, so it was a whole lot of rock crawling stuff. So, I mean, if I'd have listened to everything everybody said, I'd have ended up with 1 tons and 40-inch tires and rings up front. But, I called Off-Road Design, and I talked with them. They actually talked me out of their 4-link coilover front kit. For the uses I want. I wanted to drive it on the road 80 miles an hour all the way up to the dunes. I never wanted it to have to see a trailer. I hate the trailer system at our dunes. It's a waste of time. So they set me up with a set of their custom long travel leaf springs, similar to a Deaver or whatever. They spec them out just for the square bodies. bolted right in. This was before I did, I was comfortable doing a lot of fab work. If it were me now, I'd take the thing and, I'd build my own frame, it'd be all fresh. But
Yeah.
back then it was, these bolt in, this is cool. And that's what it did. We tore them apart. And I mean, at the time I was making, like $9.50 an hour or whatever. So, I mean, buying those springs was that was like a month's worth of paychecks,
Yeah.
And then the crossover steering I bought from Off-Road Design. And, I wanted to do everything right, though. And, I did it once, and it's held together till the day. But, yeah, so I bolted all that together, and we kind of threw together that CK5 Dune Fest thing and had a lot of guys come. And, I had kind of version 1.0, and I got the Raptor shocks, a couple pairs of rear Raptor shocks, and I put those on. The bump stops. We actually cycled leaf springs, which I thought was a really interesting thing. I'd never seen anybody actually do it. You break them apart down to the main leaf. So you get your brand new $900 leaf springs that you just spent like 2 months paying for. Rip them apart. You bend the clamps that hold the ends apart, and you rip them down to nothing. You take a 2x4 block, and you cut it to the same thickness of the other leaf springs under it. You bolt that in. Now you can cycle it like a coil sprung rig. So you can shove it all the way up for bump, set your bump stops. You can shove it all the way down, get droop, measure your drive shaft up and down. I've never had a single issue with my drive train. That was a nice thing about doing it that way, as opposed to most people would just bolt them in and jump them. And I know, like Chris out in Cali, he blew like 3 until I finally, convinced him to cycle the stupid leaf springs. Because leaf springs move weird. Like, I've got like a 1/2 inch of drive shaft slip in the rear of the Blazer. In the front, I've got like 6.5 inches. Like, they work retarded in the front when you have a shackle mounted in the back of the spring. Like, so weird stuff happens. And so that was cool. Those guys kind of told me about it, and then we experimented. So that was cool. We set up bump stops. Nobody we knew really had bump stops. So it was really a good learning experience for Nate, Craig, and I,
Yeah.
But that was the real start, I guess.
All right, so I'm going to go back and read some of these comments. I think you'll get a kick out of some. We got a lot of comments so far. So,
so many CK5 people. Everyone is.
You're famous, dude. Okay, so let's start with. Sorry.
Every single person's on CK5.
Hold on. We need some questions. Need a bead rolled sign? Yeah, I do. What's up, Adam? You need a blue Sharpie?
No, I got the red one. CK5 guys like blue Sharpies. I purposely put a red pocket.
Let's see. So how does Adam feel about high quality display merchandisers?
Oh, was that Greg?
Tyler Whitlow.
Oh. That's what we build.
Let's see what else we got. Laura.
That's a fancy talk for a deli case.
Chris Peterson, where's the beers? Not tonight. I just got back from Vegas. Not tonight.
No, I don't drink in the shop. We used to drink a lot in the shop, but I've gotten a lot. I got serious once I started doing all this, and I don't mess around anymore.
Well, let's talk about okay, so if you're listening to this, put in the comments where you're from, and I guess put in the comments if you're a CK5 guy as well, because I want to see kind of all those guys so I understand a little bit how many of them we got in here. We got 65 people in here right now, so it's pretty good. Let's talk about Deuling Designs then. You kind of mentioned when we were talking about this yesterday.
No S on the end.
Deuling Design.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. What is Deuling Design?
I back in October of 2016, so not that long ago. I had been messing with a lot of stuff. I am crazy about Dimple dies. I bought some Dimple dies here and there. Like I'd scrap together some money, and you know, I'd buy 2 sizes, and then I'd buy one more here and one more there. And worst way to buy Dimple dies, because you end up spending like four times more money. But I dimpled everything I could get my hands on, and one day I was just like, there's got to be some other like cool stuff, you know, you can do with metal. So I hopped on Pirate. Nothing against the CK5 guys. There's a lot more knowledge on Pirate 4x4. So I hopped on there, and you know, I posted some pictures. I made a thread. It was called like metalworking tools. It was an awesome thread until Photo Bucket took a crap, and now all forums are junk. But I hopped in there, and you know, I posted some pictures. You know, like, oh, I'm doing this. You know, I love the Dimple dies. Like, what else is out there? And I found a picture of a wishbone rear suspension upper link, and they had put this plate in there, and you know, it had a bead roll in it, and I was like, what is that? So I took the picture and I posted in there. I said, how do you make this? And somebody said a bead roller, and I just like, it didn't make sense. I was like, how does it make the metal go down? Like that, it's not stamped. And they're like, no, this. Okay, so my mentality is like, I want to do something, I buy it. Like, I want something, I get it. That's just how I work. I'm gonna work my butt off to get it. But I bought a cheap, I don't know, I think it was $150. I don't even remember the brand. Some cheap bead roller, comparable to the Harbor Freight one they had. Yeah, I had the same thread on Great Lakes 4x4. I had the same thread going. I saw Jake wrote that. I had the same thread going on all the forums. I just duped it from one and pasted to keep everybody updated. But Great Lakes 4x4 is a Michigan off-road one. But so I bought that cheap bead roller, and I just started playing around with it down here. Every night after work, I'd come down, and you know, at first, you know, everything was awful, completely awful. Just kept practicing every night, you know, looking at, you know, now I'd you know, drive around or look around anywhere I was at, and I'd say, you know, oh, you know, I should try that. You know, I'd see a letter, and you know, oh, I should try bead rolling that.
Yeah.
So I just kept playing and playing and playing with it, and eventually, you know, I was making some kind of cool stuff. I was selling some things here and there. People got interested, and because I'm a huge internet whore, like I post pictures of everything. That's like, I had like 24,000 posts on CK5 before like 2 years ago. I really slowed down like 2 years ago when I started this, because that's what I did in my spare time. I'd get out of work and go home and sit on the computer all night talking to my internet friends. That was life. And then on the weekends, we'd work on trucks.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I started doing it, and I started selling some stuff. And that spring, B&L Motorsports, they contacted me and asked me if I would go to the Michigan Buggy Builders show and be in their booth. At this point, I had like upgraded the crap out of that crappy bead roller. It was completely reworked, and it turned out really cool. I had a huge wheel I built for it instead of the crank. I built a wheel, and then it had dimple dies, like 100 dimple dies all around the radius of it. It was pretty cool. So I built that and a fancy stand for it, and took it down to Lansing to the show there. And it was cool. I think I spent 2 months in here every night, and I made like 40 signs, because I was like, this is going to be sweet. Like, I'm going to sell all these signs. I'm going to make a bunch of money. I had my eye on, I don't know if you can see the blue thing here.
Yeah.
That's the fancy one. I was eyeing them, you know, it's like $2,300 or something. And I was like, I got to have that. Like, it's sweet. It's huge. You know, the other one was like throat depth, like 18 inches. So you couldn't do anything in it besides, you know, little panels. And it was all manual. So you have one hand moving the metal and one hand doing all this. So we go down there, and it was really cool. I mean, like I hung out with Tyson all day, and Brad Yost, and, you know, a bunch of Dune people, and didn't sell a single thing. it was like the B&L booth. They had like Terry Dowker had like his wife's Peggy's super cool Cadillac car in there, and they had tons of cool vehicles in there. I think Tyson's truck was in there, and then the whole rest of the show was like tables of Volkswagen parts, like $5, pick 3 things. But as soon as like Shannon and I, like, we went down there, and as soon as I walked in and I saw that, I just said to her, I was like, I'm not selling anything. Like, so, I mean, it was a big disappointment, but it was cool to meet everybody and get my name out there, and, you know, and then after that, you know, I said, you know, like I said, Albert Bancroft, the owner of B&L, he bought one at the end of the day. He came over and bought one. So I think it was anything, but it was cool nonetheless. So, you know, they covered my hotel and our hotel room and dinner, and so it was cool. But we left the show, and I was super bummed and kind of headed home, and had to put all these signs somewhere. So I ended up sticking them in this like store down the road that was a huge waste of like $500 to like rent this booth for 3 months. Didn't sell anything there either. So then from that point I said, I'm not making anything except orders. Like, I'm not just making stuff to sell, because you don't just make stuff. It doesn't sell like that. People go, oh, I want one like this, but with, you know, do this over here on it, you know,
Yeah.
Customize it. So I still got most of those signs. I don't know what to do with them. But,
Now, what were they? Like, what were the majority of the signs? Like, what'd you put on them?
I made like 6 of these ones that it was like the side profile of a guy's head, and it had like the brain bead rolled. And then I made a bunch of stickers, like gears and like pistons and like Chevy timing order, and like shoved them all over there. I didn't. No, Nate says Creepy Bear. I got Creepy Bear here. I'm gonna show you that later. But that bead roller. This stuff was more simple. You can't get it as detailed with a manual bead roller. It was
eggplant emoji, lots of those.
Yeah, Nate wants me to make eggplant emoji bead rolls. I think I'll send Dunehor one. Where was I getting with that?
You made a.
Oh, I made those. They had like Gearhead Garage across the top, and then Shannon's dad made me a bunch of really cool rustic frames from a barn, like a 100-year-old barn that fell down in their yard at their farm. So he made me all these cool ones. I had like some deer that I bead rolled, and like some crosses, and I can't remember. Okay, I had like some skulls and this and that, and so I put those in there, and they were really cool. And I still got quite a few of those too. Just people didn't buy them at the show or at the other place, and it's kind of hard to sell stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But then pretty much, I think it was like a week after the buggy show, Nick Mishler, he owns Mishler Made Fab. He's over, I think it was the Ann Arbor area. He had this bead roller for sale, and he had bought it and like used it on like 2 things and just didn't have the time for it. I think his second kid was on the way or something, and they were building a house, and he hit me up and was just like, hey man, I got this bead roller, it's ready to go, and because I had made a post or something, I think, and he gave me a few $100 off new, so I scooted over there one night and took a bunch of money out of my savings account, and I didn't make any extra money. That I had hoped to leave the buggy show and drive to his place from there because it was close, and come home. I was hoping to come home with an empty Chevy Sonic. I came home with a completely full Chevy Sonic, so I didn't have room for the bead roller. So I drove over there one night, like a Friday night, and I picked that up, and he's a super cool guy, awesome welder. And I came home and just started going to town with that. Having the electric motor was just like so much cooler in the foot pedal, just so much more control. It took a bit to get used to, though, because I had gotten so used to the hand one. You could feel it a little bit more with the hand one, when you bump into an existing bead roll, and you didn't have that with this, so it becomes more of a, you gotta use your eyes now instead of the feel.
Yeah.
But man, it's way sweeter for doing circles and everything intricate. So I got that, and I just started pumping out signs left and right. I bought like the little green brake behind me. I got my English wheel over here that was Terry Dowker. His brother passed away, and he was an incredible fabricator. And I traded Terry sign with he's a motor builder. I traded him a sign with his logo on it for that English wheel. So we went up and picked that up. I geared a set of 1 ton of axles for a local guy over here. He's got a great big yellow Bronco on like 44s. So I set up a pair of gears for his 1 tons with like 538s. And in trade, they own this huge agricultural business. Dave Vogel is his name. So they do all kinds of structural welding. So I was like, I want a sweet like 4x6 table, like 42 inches tall, and I wanted it flat. You can't build flat stuff on concrete floors.
Yeah.
You guys have welding tables. I want it perfect. And so he dropped that off. So that was my trade for gear and his axles. And it's beefy. This thing weighs more than my car. But so yeah, I guess I started using all the signs, and I was gearing axles and trade for stuff, and I got more tools, and it got to the point where like this thing was loaded up. I did a few things. I built some fenders for my cousin Todd Gilland. He's got a couple pretty cool Dune toys. Did some fenders in that, and then I bought a TIG welder. Started kind of learning how to TIG weld. Still not very good at it, but I can fix stuff. I guess it got to that point. I was cutting everything with Brett's plasma cutter, just with a hand torch. I cut every single sign by hand, every corner. I'd get sheets in 2x4 sheets that I could shove in the back of my Sonic, and get home. I'd have to have everything sheared to size. And then I just said, screw it. Nate and I actually looked into the plasma table thing. We got real pumped about it. He ended up at, kind of the last second, looking at finances and going, I don't know if this is a good idea. So, he kind of hopped out, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm doing this. I want it. And, it ended up better that I have it. We were going to split it, and, it would have caused drama, and we might, that could have caused tension and this and that. So it worked out. I bought that, took a bunch more money out of my savings account. Every time I put money away for buying a house, I bought more tools. But I like tools better. I ordered that, got it last year, and I don't know, about now, I guess, springtime last year, probably April-ish. Got that, and it's been sweet. It's got its issues I've been trying to work on over time, and kind of get stuff worked out. It was a newer company, and we had a few things, but they helped me out with it. And customer service is a huge benefit I learned through that. Like, we had some issues, like they dropped the table off the loading dock. The shipper did. So like
Jeez.
Stuff's all stacked, and it's like all crooked, and so I didn't have to pay full price, and they did kind of insurance stuff and whatever. So, I've been working on it. Couldn't figure out why I was cutting weird circles. Just kept at it and shimming it and doing this and that. And it's to the point where it's working well. But, man, even a bad plasma table is still a pretty cool toy.
Yeah, yeah.
It speeds things up. It's something cool to have. I guess that's where I'm at. I've been shoving as many tools in here as possible, and I'm super grateful that Brett lets me come out here and play. I give him money for electricity and gas and stuff, and he doesn't charge me rent, which is pretty cool.
Well, and it's cool to have people that what it sounds like to me is that he believes in you. He believes in what you're doing, and you worked for him for a number of years. So, why wouldn't he believe in you? He's seen your work ethic. He's seen that when you go after something, you really go after it. Like you said, when you want something, you work towards it and you buy it. So,
yep.
Well, dude,
yep, and that's always been his attitude. And so, yeah, I guess I just took after that. He's always been kind of like my second dad. My dad, I grew up a mile down the road, and him and my dad have been best friends since they were like little kids.
Yeah.
It just. But, yeah, what were you saying?
Let's see some bead rolling.
All right, let's see some bead rolling.
Are you ready to do this?
Yeah, I drew you this up for you guys.
That's pretty cool.
Get a kick out of it, and it's something that, won't take an hour to do. So let me spin this around a little. How's that? That look all right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right, so if you're just joining, Adam's going to do a bead rolled sign really quick.
This is really weird without music. I normally have like the music on so loud in here, like you can't think. So the key is to like concentrate and like not look away while you're doing this. But that's so there we got the hand.
Hell yeah.
And then I'll normally do like I'll turn the speed up a little bit for the edges. I'll normally like kind of frame it in. This is something that like I learned from like Jamie Jordan. I got this thing and I started picking people's brains. I got on Instagram after I bought it. I wasn't really on Instagram much before that. I was here and there. I just kind of posted pictures of the blazer. So I started talking to him. Brandon Feisinger, self-made fab down in like I think Troy, Ohio. Started picking his brain. He helped me a lot. Getting. I was like, how do you set up dies? How do you know what's the best pressure? How do you keep stuff from warping? All kinds of different stuff. I'm doing this one a lot faster. If you really want a panel to not warp, like you can see it's buckling up, like it's warping. I'm going a little deep. But you got to do that if you want to go, get this done quick. You would do short passes, at shallow depth, and then you'd go over it again. Like if I was gonna, make this for somebody, I'd do it real light, and I'd probably do 3 passes. Jamie says he does 5 passes on everything. So, I mean, you got to have a lot of patience to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Brett will come out he'll come out here sometimes and just stand here for like a second and then like, nope, can't do it, and he'll walk away, you know.
Hey, Jaime, you need to have Deuling make you guys a sign for the One Bad Toy Factory.
For what?
If you've never seen it, One Bad Toy Factory, Jaime Gamboa he runs the One Bad Toy Factory on Instagram, and really cool stuff. He's got some painted sharks in there, some really badass sand rails. Jaime, you guys need a bead rolled sign.
I really, I've got like ideas in my head for like some sick signs. Like I want to make like an 8-foot sign that, you know, is like, I've only got a 4-foot plasma table, so you got to like piece stuff together. But, you know, like aircraft look, you know, like lots of rivets, lots of dimples, you know, big office sign. Like I've got ideas in my head, but I don't really want to spend the time and money on something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to, you know, it's going to be expensive. But I would love to make a huge ass sign. My grandma's for. So yeah, that's
so
pretty
cool.
simple little piece. After that, you know, I'll spray it with some brake clean. I'll hit it with some Scotch-Brite or whatnot. Clean it up. Jamie always gives me crap for using Scotch-Brite. One day he told me, no more Scotch-Brite. You want to make it so you don't gotta hide stuff, you know. So, you know, if you want to do stuff quick, you know, you can kind of get some scratches out with the Scotch-Brite and this and that. Jamie's stuff's incredible. The dude's nuts.
It's pretty crazy.
He's a roller on the planet. I swear to God. Yeah, I can't thank him enough for all the help he's given me. Like I said, Brandon Feisinger at Self-Made Fab, he does a ton of it too. They both have helped me out like a ton. I'd love to go hang out with both of them sometime.
All right, let's see that thing one more time, man. Let's see it one more time.
You want me to clean the...
No. That's pretty cool, dude. That's some talent right there, I gotta say.
That was easy. I was watching you while I did it. How about this one? You asked me what my favorite project was.
Let's see it.
Nate already gave it away. It was Creepy Bear. I don't know if it's my favorite just because it's cool or my dad absolutely hates it. Like, it like creeps him out every time I show it to him, but this is Creepy Bear.
Dude. What? That is really cool.
This is my first attempt at aluminum welding too. I TIG welded the corners. It took me like 4 hours to TIG weld like 4 little 1/2-inch flanges because I kept blowing it out. But I bought these little tiny dimples too. I have like the tiniest dimple dies ever. And then also back here, I've got like the biggest dimple dies ever. Like this thing weighs like 20 pounds. It's as big as my face. I got done with Frank Taylor's truck and I stocked up on some more tools. I never had a matching set of dimple dies. They were all like random different ones. So it always bugged me that, you know, I had tons of different profile dimples. So I kind of splurged and TMR helped me out a lot. Gave me a really sweet price on their whole kit.
So
Definitely
what's the hardest project you've done? You kind of said your favorite project. That was Creepy Bear. That one's pretty cool. What's the hardest one you've done?
Frank's truck was tough. Like he got a hold of me on like, I don't know, like a Wednesday night or something. Nah, I don't know. It might have been a weekend, but I just got a phone call. Hey, this is Frank Taylor. I'm like, what's happening? And I want you to do the paneling on my truck. Okay, like I didn't really know what it entailed. I hadn't really ever studied his truck up close. You know, like I had seen it, you know, and talked to him for a second or here. But okay. Well, you said, you know, when's your schedule open? I said, you know, I don't have, you know, anything big going on right now, just some little stuff. Had to fix my girlfriend's truck. She just got ran into by a cop.
What the heck?
Um, so, you know, I just had to fix her truck up a little bit, and he brought that over on like a Sunday afternoon, and I'm thinking, you know, okay, he's bringing this truck over. We're going to make, you know, a few panels in the back and, you know, on the tube, okay. And he gets here, and Ryan Langer's with him, and a whole bunch of their crews with him, and there's like 8 people in here, and like they bring this truck in there, and it's got an LSX 454, and the thing is just like retarded. It sounds awesome, and they bring that in there, and I'm just like in awe of like awesome motor because all my stuff sucks, and there's like a circle of people, and we all have like notepads out, and it's like, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. And I had like 4 pages, and like we were like going to the front of the truck, into the back of the truck, into the front of the truck, into the back of the truck. And like I'm trying to like keep things like separate. And then I had like 4 pages of notes that I like had to go back and make sense out of later. And at one point, Frank was like saying to Ryan Langer, he's just like, dude, you're scaring the kid. Like Ryan's used to, I wasn't used to this stuff at all. So like I was freaked out, and so you know we got our list together, and he wanted the back half done, and the interior done, and under the hood, and new 60/61 1/4-inch skid plates in the front, and I think that was it. So they left, and I kind of got my, you know, settled down. Like I was freaked out for like 2 days straight, like terrible. And I wrote it all out, you know, in a clean way, and said, okay, like you just got to go one at a time, and just start checking stuff off. So I started with the biggest project that I thought would be on the truck, and that was the back half. And just every night, you know, come out here for 2-3 hours, get one panel done, if anything, get one drawn up, or I ended up making all of it on the computer. Like I could duplicate his entire back half. If he doesn't roll the truck, if he just dents something, I can make a new one. It's all in the computer, so that was cool. It's really hard to get files for stuff like that. You know, like one side's not, you know, you want something perfect for somebody that, you know, they want it perfect. You know, tubes aren't, you know, a truck's been rolled once, you know, stuff's not perfect anymore. So, you know, yeah. Left to right's not your image of it. So, you know, you need to tweak it here and there. And so that took a little extra, but I was happy. You know, we had to change some parts here and there. And, you know, I bead rolled, you know, I was able to then just cut them out again and make new instead of having to make stuff from scratch. Got the back half done. Had like way too much time into it, and I like asked him like, this is where I'm at, are you okay with this? Like I'm super slow, I'm sorry. And he's like, just keep going. Okay. So like I did under the hood and like a panel there over the core support. I did the skid plates, and then I got into the interior. I learned that I do not like doing interior work. If you want to do interior work, I'm charging extra. Like back halves, I hated doing all the roof stuff. Like I hated being bent over in that. I don't know. I give so much credit to like Langer and Monzo and those dudes that just lay backwards in trucks all night and weld, and I hated that. 30 hours of welding tabs in, and so don't much care for interior, but I'll do it if the money's right, I guess. Yeah, Frank, I don't even know if Frank's seen the truck. Like a couple of guys came and grabbed it and brought it to Grand Rapids to Ryan's shop, and I think it's at paint right now. So I'm super excited to see it. I spent a lot of time on it, and it was, it scared the crap out of me at first. And like, once I was done, like, I have a lot more confidence. Like, that was a good project to have. And I'm really excited for the future. I'm really excited to, keep doing crazy stuff. And, I learned that you just got to go at stuff with confidence and, with a no failure attitude, and you'll just succeed, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Everything I took that attitude at, I've done, and I hope everybody's been happy with the outcome, all the customers and that. And, yeah, so that's Frank's truck.
So, have you ever thought about doing it full time, or do you like your day job too much?
I've been there for about 5 years. I've learned a ton. I mean, that's where I fell in love with sheet metal itself, actually. Like, I design sheet metal parts almost all day long. We've got tons of lasers and CNC press brakes, and like, I just fell in awe walking out there and watching the lasers cut. I could watch a laser cut all day. Like, I've had a plasma table for a year now, and like, it's still like, I feel like a kid, like, oh my gosh, so cool. It's great. It's been great. It's a good job. I feel like it's almost wrong to have like worked my way up into an engineering position. But yeah, I love doing this stuff. Like, I get out of work at, as soon as I can. I work the least amount of overtime I can. I get in trouble for it, but I want to get out here. That's me. Like, as soon as I'm done with work, I'm like, yeah, I get to go work. Like, I'm excited. Like, I like getting out here, and I like working with Brett, and I like working with. Frank said Josh finished the paint today. I want to see a picture. And I love being out here, and Nate's got his truck over here. There's a Raptor next to me that we're putting beams on. That's pretty cool. Hopefully I can do the back half of that for Mark Johnson. Langer built that too. I don't really want to get into like full builds. I don't really like tube work a ton. Like, I'll do it if I have to. I just a razor. A guy brought, kind of a cage that he started, Ryan Miller, brought a cage that he kind of started, and he wanted a roof made for it and some stuff. So I did the tin work for the roof, and he's like, hey, while we're here, I brought all this tube. You think you could finish, build me a bumper? So like, I hate tube work, but I did it. Like, when I built the Blazer roll cage, I put like 140 foot of tubing in the Blazer, tied to the frame and everything. And like, I was out here every night after school or whatever. And like, I didn't want to do any more tube after that. No more tube. But guys, Langer and Griffin, and you guys can do the full builds, because at this point I'm not super interested. Maybe someday down the line. Or once I buy my laser and my CNC press brake, I'll just make roll cages out of plate.
Well, I mean, if you could, I guess this is a weird question, but if you could go full time doing, Dimple stuff, doing design work like that, doing bead rolling, the stuff you like to do, if you could make money doing that and make a good living, do you think you would ever go do full time, or would that ruin your hobby?
Oh no, I've been working towards that. Like, this last year, I've really, like, that's what I want. Hopefully I don't go into work tomorrow and get fired, but.
No, I mean, I don't think that,
if health insurance was affordable, I'd be doing this full time right now.
Yeah.
The economy's good. There's money out there. I'm trying to figure out some stuff I can, I got some projects and some ideas, some stuff to do, get some money, because the economy's going to go back. So, you gotta figure that out. When the economy went to crap, a while back in 08, 09, like, I had a job. I was working for Brett. you know, so I had some money. So me and my buddies, we didn't get too affected by it, but we went to the dunes and there was nobody there. Like
Yeah.
every weekend there was nothing, you know. Now you go up there and it is every weekend, it is full. Like it's not even fun unless you got 20 inches of travel. Like we went up there Labor Day weekend camping like we always do, and I just let Shannon drive my truck all weekend. Like I sat on the beach and hung out with my cousin Don, and we played with his little RC car. Did all weekend because I was like, the whoops are so big. There's so many people. Like it gets whooped out now. Like there's so many pre-runners and fast buggies. Like 12 inches of suspension travel with leaf springs is not that fun anymore. But yeah, I definitely want to do it full time. I get told by a lot of people like, yeah, it'll ruin the fun, but I mean, I'm out here every single night. It's not. Shut up, Nate. I think if it ruined it, it'd have ruined it by now because I'm literally out here every night. As soon as I get out of work, you know, I get home, I change, and I'm out here, you know, 11 o'clock at night, midnight here or there or whatever. I'm out here every weekend. Everybody with long travel stuff is just being a jerk.
I see
You guys
that.
be a jerk, but you guys get stuck because Luke gets stuck like every weekend, and I need to go pull him up. Just remember that.
Well, so there's a I kind of brought up One Bad Toy Factory earlier, and a guy named Jeff Pont from California, a really good guy. One of the comments he wrote was, own your own business, it's the way to go. And Jeff runs a very successful packing and logistics company. Your girlfriend says, get ready to do mine. She's talking about something, so.
Yeah, she's got actually, Shannon and I met at the dunes. We met on Facebook, really, but had our first date at the dunes. I had gone up there the day before. She ran out of gas or something, and she was supposed to meet me at the dunes. We were going to meet at the dunes. She ran out of gas. Her battery died, one of the two, and she didn't make it. You know, I had there's awful service there. My transfer case had a leak that I didn't know about. So the thing was out of fluid, and all of a sudden it started popping and doing the stuff. So I'm up there by myself. Until this point, my dad always raised me, do not ever go to the dunes by yourself. So that was I think the first time I went by myself with nobody else, no way home, because I drive the thing there. I don't trailer it. You know, it's an hour drive up there. So I got freaked out, and I was like, I don't know where this chick is, but I'm leaving before the blazer breaks and leaves me stranded here. So I left, no more than got home, and she sends me a picture of her truck in the dunes, oh, I ran out of gas, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh. So, but she was up there camping with a girlfriend for the night, and she said I should come up the next day. So I drove up in the Sonic in my car, met the girl, you know, it had 37-inch, 36-inch, I don't remember, big Baja Belteds on it with the thing's got a ton of lift. It's huge. So I meet her, and the first thing I looked was, I see big tires and stuff. It's got a 14-bolt full floater in the rear, so I was like, sweet, it's not. I was so excited, we're not gonna break this today. And then 2 seconds into it, we get in the dunes, and her battery fell into the fan, and it just had a bungee holding it, and so I hopped out and fixed it, and I don't know. It was a good first date.
Well, that's funny,
I
too.
was
I don't know.
Go home and tell all my Blazer buddies, oh my God, I just went on a date with a girl that's got an 83 Chevy. It's awesome. It's got trucks. it needs some work, but we're hopefully going to do some suspension upgrades to it. I'm linking my cousin's 72 step side after this Raptor is done. And then her truck and his truck are kind of the same height, so I'm hoping we can kind of take the same suspension and do it on the back. Mark's got some coilovers he said he could sell me for cheap. So we're gonna try and piece that stuff together. We're kind of trying to find a house at the moment, so I don't really want to sink, thousands and thousands of dollars, but having a plasma table helps. You can make all the brackets pretty quick. You can, you can do, what's he say?
He told us everything about his date.
Was that bad? It was a good date.
Willie Wills.
Yeah. I know. Sorry. Yeah, I went on there and I took 20 pictures. I took way too many pictures. I'm surprised she wasn't creeped out and left, because I was just oh my gosh, I'm a nerd. I was I'm like a heavy truck nerd. That's all I cared about. So that was just cool to meet a girl that was interested in it, and her truck's an 83, mine's an 85, same front end, same front axle. Blah, blah, blah. So that was cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you got anything else you want to share, man?
I don't know. Do you want to hear what the Blazer is? I guess
We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. Let's talk about it right now, though.
It was a 400 small block that I bought for $1,200 from a buddy, built, bored over to a 408. Had a 700 R4 built for it, 208 transfer case. I wanted to keep it four-wheel drive, just keep it four-wheel drive. 14-bolt semi-float in the rear. Put Detroit in the rear. Chrome out axles in the front. 1350 drive shafts in the rear with the CV up top. I trust the axles, the ORD springs, the Fox bump stops at all four corners, the Raptor shocks. I did a DIY 4x shackle flip in the rear, actually. I did the rear really cheap, and that actually works sweet. It's just, it's F-150 57s. They're $75 a spring pack, and I squeezed almost 12 inches of travel out of $75 leaf springs, and they have held for, this will be the third summer, I think. Third or fourth, I can't remember. They've held a long time, and they don't even have the clamp in the back, so when you droop it out, they fan out like a foot. So just throwing those on before our dune party in 2015, and I'd thrown those on, and I was like, man, if I jump this thing, that top leaf spring's just gonna bend. So
why is everyone saying zip ties right now?
We're at Nate's house. It's getting dark outside, and I grabbed a bunch of zip ties, and I zip tied 20 zip ties on the back there where a clamp should be. One of them riveted clamps that holds from separating. They don't do them for some reason. I put 20 of them on it. I wrapped it with electrical tape, thinking, these are gonna blow out in 12 minutes. And it's been 3 years, and I have not touched them. People gave me so much crap for it, and you know what? They worked fine. They were $75 springs, and zip ties holding together, and I beat the piss out of that thing. It is a tank, and I have enjoyed it, and I would love to rip it apart and put beams on it and make it go fast, but at this point the thing is just I'd like to do some shock tuning so it's not a pogo stick anymore, because I never touched the shocks, so I know it could be better, but that thing can just take a landing. I'm not jumping like the big guys, 20 feet in the air, but you take a 6,000-pound truck on leaf springs like that, and you jump at 5-6 feet in the air and come down, and it doesn't hurt. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And then I hop in it, and I can tow my buddies out. I can do whatever. The thing's always packed full of tools. I'm always like the guy that gets flagged down because I got a whole blazer full of tools to help fix everybody's broken stuff. And then I drive it home. You know, I got a CO2 tank in the back. I can air the tires up right there. Spare in the back. I carry a jack. I carry like every tool I own in it. The true pre-runner. Yeah, it's a real pre-runner. Everybody that calls your truck's a pre-runner that could go racing, it's not a pre-runner. The Blazer's a perfect pre-runner.
So Tim DeFore says, show us your Dimple dye chair you're sitting on.
Oh.
Yes.
I had my buddy Benson Rodworks, Logan Benson, over in I think he's in Iowa. He custom made me the seats. He stitched my logo in there, so that was pretty cool. He had like an old bar stool that somebody brought him, and he like put this brown fabric on it, redid it, and like threw it up online for $50. I was like, dude, I need that like right now. I want it. And then I called him and I was like, can you make me an upper? Like, I really want to build a cool office chair, you know, to have out here. So he made me that, and yeah, I love Dimple, so I had to dimple the crap out of it. My buddy Short Iron Fab killed it with the powder coat. It's a 2-stage chrome and transparent over top, and I bring all my powder to him, so it's cool to have a local guy do all that stuff. I don't know if there's any other cool things. I've got like a couple things I make here if you want to see it. I guess.
Yeah, let's see it really quick.
Do you want to see the cage plate, or did you want to save that for like a different time?
It's up to you. I don't care.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I think these are my dimpled cage plates. So you're building your off-road truck. It's got a full frame under it. You take your roll cage and you stuff it through the floor. Before you weld it to the frame, though, you take one of these and you slide it up that tube. You then let's see if I can. This is the frame. This is your truck frame. You weld that tube onto your frame there. You had this slid up before. If you welded it on after, you're going to need to cut this in half. You slide that down. The dimple covers the original weld. And then you weld it again. And then you plug weld all these holes and then stitch weld around the perimeter. So now you've got, basically, I called them like a double shear frame tie-in plate. I built them on the Blazer when I built the cage probably 4 or 5 years ago. I had a couple of them. I had a few guys here and there, you know, where'd you get those? So I sell those for like $12.50 a piece. If you buy, I think 8, I give you free shipping. You can fit 8 in a flat rate box. So those are cool. I got a lot of interest in them.
Those are like one of the coolest things. Like when you showed me those, I was like, dude, those are so cool. Because I've always kind of wondered like how people tie in tube work to a frame. So,
I mean, a lot of people will, you know, kind of do the same thing, but just flat plate. But I thought it was cool. I got to incorporate the dimple, so it looks sweet, but it serves a purpose. You know that you get 2 welds. I always hated the idea of a tube tied to the frame, like just one weld. Like it's gonna rip that frame.
yeah.
So you do that, spreads that load out, helps a lot. I'm surprised I haven't seen a lot of other people making them. I hope maybe I can just be the one. But
what else you got?
Oh, I saw I posted them 4 days later. Some other guys making the exact same thing, but they're just little rib nut tabs that you can kind of snap one off. And I did Frank's roof panels with them.
I like those too. Those are cool. Both cool products.
So yeah, I'm trying to come out with some plasma cut stuff, you know, kind of to just fun things. You know, I think that's, you know, people can afford, you know, $50 here, you know, for a set of these or that, or $30 for that. So I'm trying to find some products like that to make, you know, keep people safer and that too. But I really want to do that so then I can then work on the big projects.
Yeah.
You know, my heart's not in the plasma stuff. You know, that's just to make some side money so I can do the fun stuff. I think I'll always like the handmade stuff because that's, you know, anybody can go buy a plasma table. They're getting cheaper every day. You know, it's going to be like 3D printers. You know, you'll be able to have one for $500 in a few years probably. So I kind of want to, you know, just ride it out what it's there and then just use it as a, you know, a really convenient tool. Just do all this other stuff, you know. Nate and I have got some pretty cool ideas we're trying to come up with, you know, hopefully this year. Can't tell you what that is though. You'll just have to keep watching.
So if anyone who's wondering who Nate is, Nate was on the show, let's see, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Mr. Clean. So Adam's got a Blazer and Nate's got an old, I guess I don't even know what year it is. Old, the Smurf truck, that one right there.
It's pretty cool.
It's all right. It needs a hood though.
No, hoods are bad. I don't run a hood. Every time I put the hood on the Blazer, something goes wrong with the engine. Like last time I put the hood on the Blazer, I just finished like the whole roll cage build and all that stuff, and I had spent forever working on it. And I got the thing running, and I got it out, and I drove over to Nate's house because he machined me some bump stop spacers because I screwed up mounting my rear bumps, so I needed to space them down a little bit. And I go into his garage with him, and we come out, and the thing is just billowing smoke. Like, it was packed, ready to go Labor Day weekend. We were going camping. It was going to be sweet. Nate had his old brown Blazer. We were going to go camping. It had everything in it. I was going to drive it to work in the morning and leave right from work up to the dunes, and it's just billowing smoke. What the heck? So I hop in it, drive it down the road, like smoke goes away. Like, what the heck? Get back here to Brett's. It's billowing smoke. What the heck? Check the coolant. It's like 2 gallons low, like retarded. Fill it back up. You could just watch it go down. So I had gotten lazy when I put the motor in, and I just like tuned it by ear, you know, never like checked anything, never checked the jetting or any of that. So I ran the thing like super lean for like 3 years and just toasted the head gaskets. So don't tune motors by ear, you know, it doesn't really work. I always thought, you know, like it's so stinky when it idles. I thought, you know, there's no way it's running lean. So, you know, a little rich is better, but it was only rich when it was idling. It was super lean at wide open throttle, which is what you do. So, and then, I don't know, a time before that, I put the hood on and something broke. So I just said, screw it. And I put the hood sitting in the woods. It's cursed. Actually, I put it on it for the winter. It's just like sitting on it, though. It's not actually bolted on. I'll take it off as soon as I start driving it again.
Well, dude, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed seeing kind of what you're up to. The cool thing with me is like I had Nate on the show, obviously, and Nate had kind of talked to me about everything that you were doing over there. And not everything, but it kind of gave me an idea of what you're doing and like your guys' friendship and your vehicles. And then when I kind of started talking to you, so I'm not the only bead rolling I was really, like had seen was Jamie's stuff because I heard Jamie on another podcast I listened to. And then I saw, I think you're super talented. I'd love to try to start getting some of your stuff on the West Coast, man, because I think there's a lot of people over here that could be interested, in what you're doing. So,
yeah, I'd love that. I'd really. That's why I post. I mean, I post everything online. Always have. Like, I want to get my name out there. I want people to know. You know, every day you get better. The more you practice, like, you don't just like hop on these things and, you know, be able to talk to people while you're doing it, you know,
Yeah.
overnight. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how many. I've spent enough hours over this that I go to the chiropractor twice a week because my back hurts so bad. Like, my upper back is screwed. So, I don't even want to know how many thousands of hours I spent, you know, bent over a bead roller. But
Yeah.
I've enjoyed all of it. John Worthington's on there. He does awesome bead rolling. He was one of the other ones that I really got interested right away when I found Instagram.
Well, dude, you want to start doing some of these quick and dirty questions, and then we'll wrap this thing up?
Yeah.
So I thought of a few more. So.
Oh no.
So.
I was only ready.
The ones I thought of weren't too bad. So okay. The first question I got for you. So why is your truck named Oprah? That seems kind of racist.
No, that was Nate's Blazer.
Oh, it was Nate's Blazer? Still racist.
It was brown.
Oh,
Nate didn't name it. Nate didn't name it though. I think Sweaty named it. One of our named it. Yeah, it was super racist, but it was funny.
What's your Blazer's name? The Pie Max?
Cherry Brazier.
What the hell?
No, it's Cherry Brazier. my buddy, Rich. I don't know. He calls it Cherry Brazier, with a Z and I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I've never really had a name for any of my vehicles. It's just Blazer, I guess. Shannon's truck is yellow, and I call it Yellow Truck.
Okay. I like naming vehicles. I think it's funny.
I can't ever like remember things like that, so I just like look at it like, that's Yellow Truck, that's Blazer.
All right. So who's gayer for one or another, you or Nate? Are you gayer for Nate, or is he gayer for you?
Me all day. He just accepts. There's like 7 penises drawn all over his truck, and I did every single one. I can see one from here.
So, not involving a vehicle, what sound do you hate?
I hate when the microwave beeps. Like, I need to open the door at 1 second, or like I lose my shit. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, I hate when the microwave beeps. Always have. It's just weird. Microwaves should. I want a microwave with no beep. That would be super dope.
You're a weird mother effer.
Yep, and I love it. I love being. I really live by like, don't take life too seriously, because you know none of us are getting out of here alive. So what's the point? You know,
I agree.
I don't dress up fancy. You know, I don't know. I'd rather spend my money on tools and shop for clothes at Goodwill. Yeah.
So now you're getting microwave comments. So
yeah.
Oh crap! Someone said beep delete kit. My microwave jingles.
No, I don't want any noise.
All right. So this is the last quick and dirty question I got for you. I gotta think of how I'm gonna word this without being sexual. So,
Don't get me in trouble. My probably watching.
If there's anything that turns you on, not involving a woman, what is it?
Dimple dies.
There you go.
Actually, the guys at work, Ryan that I work with, I like have super selective hearing. Oh yeah, Richard's voice, that's a good one. I have like super selective hearing, and like I do it all the time. I get in trouble with everybody. But the guys at work, when they're like trying to talk to me, like they'll just yell like Dimple dies or bead rolling or like Chevy Blazer or something, and like what? What'd you say? And they'll be like, we've been talking to you for like half an hour. We're like, oh, okay, but yeah, he just does it like on a daily, just like Dimples, and I'm like, what?
Well, you
I
get.
guess that's what's that?
So, well, you got anything for me?
Yeah. What's your favorite music?
Uh,
I love, like, I'm huge. I gotta have music all the time.
so I like country, but like lately my wife's been listening to like today's top hits or something. So there's this song by this chick. I don't know who it's by, and it's called IDGAF. It's my favorite song right now.
I dig like I've been like lately on a huge like Zeppelin kick, and I don't know if you guys have heard of Greta Van Fleet.
I never have now.
Look up Greta Van Fleet. If you like Zeppelin, these dudes are new age Zeppelin. Like the dude's voice is incredible. It's like he could sing every Zeppelin song. It's cool. I think they're from Michigan.
That's probably why you like them.
It off big right now. I think they just went on a huge tour with a lot of huge names. So I love good music, I guess.
Well, and it's one of those things when you listen to it, or when you listen to it all day in the shop, you know, you have to like good music. So.
Oh yeah. Shannon hates my music. She loves music that I hate, and I love music that she hates. Like I love like crappy punk rock, Blink-182. Yeah, me and Nate listen to the Cars at the Dunes. Like the Cars album is like that's Dune tunes. My dad always had a Cars tape in the Suburban when we went to the Dunes, so like I'd always put that thing in and flip it over, and I thought that was great music up there.
Like Cars the Disney movie?
Oh, the Cars, like shit, like My Best Friend's Girl, and like.
Oh, gotcha.
Damn. No, like old rock and
Yeah.
stuff, but I don't know. I get on all these like weird kicks, and like I listen to like this genre for like 2 months straight, and I get sick of it and listen to something else. Like
Sal
yeah,
wants to hear you sing.
what's that? No, I don't want to sing. I suck at singing. I always be like a rock star when I was little. Like all those tests you fill out, like I was gonna play guitar and like be a singer of a rock band. Like that's what I was gonna do, but I suck at singing. So, and I suck at playing guitar. I have like 4 guitars. I love the guitar. It's like the best thing ever. Yeah, Joe Satriani, my brother said. Just I love anything guitar, and I suck at it. I tried it for a few years, and I'm not good. But I respect people that play it, and I love listening to documentaries. It might get loud with Jimmy Page, Jack White, and The Edge from U2. If you love music, like you got to go watch that. It's on Netflix. Incredible, really inspirational. Some good messages at the end by Jimmy Page from Zeppelin. Yeah.
There you go, man.
Since you asked me the whole bromance stuff with Nate, who's your celebrity man crush?
Dude, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
said
hands. Him too. Yeah.
Dazed and Confused, of course.
Yeah.
All right. My blazer has I have like a 4-foot sticker of Matthew McConaughey in the car at the drive-through saying all right to the redhead. I have that as a plastered across the whole back window of the blazer. It's Matthew McConaughey's face with all right.
That's pretty good.
You never see it because the window's always down, the top's always off. But for like the 1 or 2 like spring dune trips we go on, it's pretty cool, I think. That's what I think, but I don't think I'm very cool. I'm pretty weird.
I think it's cool. I have a buddy who has a picture of Miley Cyrus, like a cutout sticker of Miley Cyrus on his truck. So
I like that. That's cool. That's all I had.
All right.
I got this sweet orange drink though. It's pretty sweet. It's like chewy liquid.
Well, my wife's making dinner and I can smell it, and we've been going for like an hour and a half. So unless you got anything else, let's end this thing, and we're definitely gonna have to do this again. So I think the next one we do, we're gonna have to do with you and Nate together. So.
Yep, I think we can have a lot of fun with that.
Absolutely. So we'll schedule it for a few weeks out, and we'll get you guys both on, and hopefully you won't be welding the whole time and messing up the feed. So.
Okay, sounds good, man. How was the feed tonight?
It was fine. It was good. The only thing was I heard my kids turn on Netflix, and that was the only thing. So it just kind of, my internet sucks. So.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It was definitely. And I'll definitely, for anyone watching, why don't you kind of find out or tell people where they can find you on Instagram, see your work, because you do a lot of cool stuff. I've been following you since I've known Nate. So.
Deuling on Instagram. Deuling is spelled backwards from most. It's Deuling, but that's my sticker. There's my website. My website sucks. I just haven't had time. I suck at web design. I kind of got it together. It works. You can email me through it, but I guess I'd prefer, just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or email me for right now. Once I have more time, I will get like a page set up to buy like these tabs and all this little trinket stuff. But right now, I really stress customer service, and I don't want somebody to buy stuff that I don't have the time to make and like have them have paid and like be waiting, a month. Like my type of business is like somebody calls me, I try to get to it as fast as possible, get out the door like same day sometimes. So, but I'll get there eventually. I just need more time.
Well, we'll definitely share your stuff. Well, we can always use more time, right? So. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. I love what you guys doing out there in Michigan, and we'll do it again for sure.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right.